Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Vibing with Sleezy, the podcast. This is season 3, episode 17. And yes, we are back for part 2. Yes, part 2. This is another two-parter. If you missed part 1 with Dee Dee Taylor, go back. It was just released a few days ago. And if you missed us on season 2, go back and listen to season 2. Archives of Vibing with Sleezy, the podcast, are season 1, 2, and 3 up on all platforms. So you can always listen and download anytime you want, 24/7. But this is Vibing with Sleazy, the podcast. I want to thank everybody for downloading, listening, and supporting. We had Dee Dee Taylor on for part 1. She is my special guest back again for part 2. She is the local 502 queen of cannabis and hemp, in my opinion, and she knows her stuff. And so in part 1, we dove into her brand and her store, some of the new products, where the case that she had won, where things are going, our whole view on the legal system and judicial system of it all, and it's kind of tied to that. And what I want to talk about in part 2 is kind of the things about with social media shutting her down and those kind of battles. And then we'll just talk a little bit more about just cannabis in general and the brand. So welcome back, Dee Dee.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah, we briefly talked about that. My God, social media sucks for
yes, they've been
cannabis.
your
Oh
worst
my
enemy.
God.
They've been your
They
worst enemy.
really they really have. They really have. It this year it really took me by surprise because I was going to make a post. I'm like, where's my Facebook page? And it was weird because I had been put on restriction. And I'm like, what the fuck for? Why
Yeah.
am I on restriction now? What I do now? Well, they started getting us for pictures. And I'm like, first off, Facebook algorithms can't read pictures. So you know as well as I know that there's somebody out there that doesn't like me. I don't know why, because I'm pretty and I'm sweet. But obviously I have pissed people off
We are very
or
confident people, so we probably do piss people off. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
Oh, there's no question about it. I mean, I know I have competitors, right? But I truly, in my heart of hearts, believe that somebody was reporting me, and that's why I kept getting more restrictions, more Facebook jail time, more things being removed, keep violating community standards. So I'm just like, whatever.
But they're
So
going at
I
someone but they're going after someone, and what they don't realize is like you of all people. Not that you don't give a shit, you do give a shit in aspects, but it's almost like it don't even phase you. You're like, oh, fucking TikTok, let's sell some hemp today. It's like that's what I love. It's like but you'll dive in, you'll find out like who the fuck was this face? Like, I can see you going to Zuckerberg. Tell me who the fuck this is.
right? And I wish that I could figure that out because, there's that part of me that wants to do the same fucking thing when I see pictures and I know it's violating community. And I want to so bad, Eric. I want to just be like, bitch, here's yours back. But I don't. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like, I don't do it because one, I believe in karma. And I don't have to take care of anything. Karma will do it for me one
exactly.
way or another. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? So it's been a weird fucking year, I must say. Even though I saved the Delta 8 industry here in Kentucky, I was the one that was pushing and pushing and pushing for all of us to get together to get that lawsuit filed because I knew if I didn't, we would all be fucked, right? So I don't understand why I'm hated as much as I am by my competitors that are still making money and they're still in business.
It's just
That
because
part
I think they can't bow. I mean, they just can't bow down. They can't
jealousy.
realize. Yeah, it's jealousy, and that's what it comes down at the end of the day. If anything, there's a podcast, I won't mention it, but I started noticing. I know who listens and track. I track it all, and I
Mhm.
go through the cities and countries. But season 1, for how well the podcast has gone for me with season 1, where I was just starting out. I'm not, again, I won't mention the podcast, but there was a couple guys where I noticed they're liking everything like episode 1 through 15. Didn't really know
Mhm.
these guys. However, we had collabed where they had interviewed guests I'd had, vice versa. And I heard them say positive stuff through the grapevine about different things. But then
Mhm.
I started noticing the likes started stopping. Then I noticed like the unfollow. Then I started noticing, and at the end of the day, now I'm seeing where that show is non fucking existent. And I get it. Anymore you could do a podcast and you could have one listener a month, and if you're pumping out episodes and paying for a platform and stuff like that,
Right.
then it happens. If that's your brand and that's what gets you off at night, enjoy that one listener. But it's like the thing about it is it's just funny to me, and that's where you and I have talked a lot about this, where we bonded over that because you were dealing with all the competitors. You
Mm-hmm.
knew what I was dealing with at the time with Leo, where it's like
Mm-hmm.
I'm working with 10 other reps and I'm leading the show and I'm like telling you about all the jealousy, and it
Mm-hmm.
jealousy. It's just always interesting to me, and I like another funny thing was like just talking about jealousy. I think it's a good thing to talk about. You know,
Uh-huh.
I'm confident like you, and I feel like I've accomplished a lot. I feel like you've accomplished a lot, but we're both still humble. It's not like you're on
For
Facebook. I'm a
sure.
fucking hemp queen, bitch. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook like, oh, my podcast got 50 listeners this month. Like, hey, everybody on the podcast. No, I don't like
Right.
never done that. Like I just try to post positive stuff and I try to build up
Mm-hmm.
people. I'll hype up somebody more than I'll hype up myself. But it's like just people in general are weird, and it's just when someone's hating or jealous, you can just read it and sense it. But I've almost
Agreed.
started realizing the older I'm getting now that I'm 33, it's like I am
The less you
realizing,
care.
yeah, that I well, it's that it's just it's all about the response, and
Uh-huh.
so like the thing that's hilarious is so on my birthday, I just posted, something like, "Hey, blessed be 33, life's good, yada yada." People are writing happy birthday in the comments, all that stuff. In Facebook, everybody writes, and I'm very appreciative of anybody taking
Mm-hmm.
the time out to write anything on my wall. But somebody wrote in there like some comment like, oh, what are you, Jesus or something? Or slick I guess because so many people wrote. And I read it and I laughed, and I knew the guy has dealt with like substance abuse and has had like those issues for the past. So I was just like, haters gonna hate. I got no beef with this guy. So
Yep.
I sent back a thing of like a meme with Jesus talking to disciples and shit. And he like fucking laughed at it and like he had nothing to fucking say. And the thing about it is I don't even know what his intention was. I don't even know if he was just trying to be funny. I just thought it was fucking hilarious. And I'm like, bro, you don't
Mm-hmm.
fucking phase me, dude. And I'm like, look at all these people because and it wasn't that I'm like, oh, everybody like worship me or say, hey, bro. I just knew it's just funny to me. It's like nothing in life you could be the biggest celebrity in the world. You could be Dua Lipa. I'll just make up a singer and have 50 million likes and 50 million streams. And it's like, literally, it's just like, if one person doesn't like you, I'm not saying Dua Lipa will lose sleep over that, but it's like if one
Right.
person doesn't, it's like one person always going to hate. Like, it's never
Always.
like there's always
Always.
going to be that hater. And I used to laugh at people that would wear those cringy hats back when I was a teenager where it would say like, I love my haters or I heart my haters. I
Yeah.
still see that shit. But it's like at the end of the day, I kind of heart my haters because it's like you're doing something right. If 100 people are fucking with you and then one person's like, just not liking the vibe, it's like, hey, I kind of like that. Like, fuck you. I'm doing something to piss you off.
Right. Well, I don't know if I told you this, Eric, but if I think it was in the spring, I got a glitter bomb sent to me. And yeah, I mean, it blew up in my car. I opened it in my car, so I'm like, "What the hell did I order?" That's what I'm thinking. And of course, I'm trying to get this damn thing, and they say, I'm like, "Oh." I laughed so hard at that glitter bomb because it was from Ruin Your Day. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? That's what it says. And I'm just like, "Oh my God, I have really, really irritated somebody." And I fucking loved it. So I thought it was hilarious. I still see glitter in my car. I don't care. It's pretty.
Maybe
It's
I will
pretty
be.
glitter.
Oh my god, I'm gonna criminalize myself on this episode because I don't think it's a criminal act, but I'm just gonna say it because I keep it real. There was a boss, and no, this is not a Leo boss, so Laura Snyder, chill the fuck out. If somebody sent you a fucking glitter bomb, that's on you and someone else. I had this fucking guy who managed me a place, very temporary. Dude was all about corporate business, everything. He got this like lavish office. He loved me, kept calling me the chosen one, all this shit. But he like make your life live in hell, very micromanaging. And it was just a job that I literally was only at a couple months. It was just like a transition period. And I've been very blessed, even though I've had shitty jobs and random jobs. I've had a lot of longevity. Like Budweiser was long term, got to make an impact.
Yeah.
Leo made my impact. You know, I'm thankful for those experiences, but I think everybody's had it. Just you get some shit jobs in the mix. Well, so I started working with this guy. You know, shout out to him for giving me the opportunity at the time. But he got this brand new office, and he gets all this brand new carpet, and he like he's so excited about it. And it was 3 weeks before I quit, and or like the whole situation happened, and he calls me in, and he's like, "What do you think about this carpet? Like, what do you think? This is fucking immaculate." And I was like, "Dude, it's carpet. It's cool, bro." And he's like, "This is such fucking and he's got it all perfect, and he's over there with like a little towel, and he's wiping everything. So about 3 days later goes by, and I already wasn't happy at the gig, and he says to me, like literally with not asking me, not talking to me, was just like, "Hey, we're sending you to Boston. It's gonna be 6 month training thing, and you'll get paid and everything. You leave Monday. I just want to let you know." And I'm like, "The fuck, motherfucker! Like the fuck? I ain't going to fucking Boston for 6 months. Like I didn't even like." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, we do this training thing and all this shit." I said, "Dude, it ain't for me, bro." I said, "I literally told you I like the role I'm in. You're signing me up for shit. I have a living fucking partner. I'm literally my family. I have 3 family members. My grandma, like, is fucking horrible health. You ever fucking thought about talking to me, motherfucker? Like,
Right?
6 months to Boston." And then he's like, "Oh, yeah, you're not going anybody from Louisville." What the fuck? So at that point, I said, "Fuck this shit." So he throws a temper tantrum. He gets all butthurt. He's like, "You can leave all this shit." So he tries to text me that night, and he's like, "Hey, you can come back the next day. I lost my cool. I just believed in you. We'll work this out." So I come back, and he's like, "So I guess you're just gonna stay in this role forever?" And I was like, "No, actually, I thought about it last night. You're gonna fire me, and my last day is gonna be Derby Day." And I said, "And that will be my 10-week mark, and I'm gonna get unemployment, and you're gonna sign off on it, and I'm gonna be out of your hair, and we'll be cool." He's like, "All right, I'll do it." So he does it. He gives me the thing.
Wow.
Knock him out. But
Okay.
here's the deal. Here's the catch. He took advantage of that last week. I'm talking. He tried to work me like 6'6". I kind of was in the graces. I had to kind of do what he says.
Right.
So he had me on the shittiest job. So I said, "Okay, I'll remember this." So I get fired, I leave. I work at PT strip club for 2.5 weeks, and then bam, I'm working at Leo Weekly. I end up also running into the guy 5 months later at a wedding, and he's like all about me, and I'm like, "Bro, get away from me." But again, it was a weird thing. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, and I got this Visa prepaid card, and I'm like, "What do I need this for? What do I need? Like, I need to pay bills, but you know what? I'm gonna send that motherfucker a glitter bomb."
Did you?
Glitter bombed his fucking the office.
Oh
This
my
guy
God.
Tyler was one of the only people I still talk to from the job. And he called me, and I didn't answer, and he left me a voicemail. And I'm not gonna lie, I started perspiring when I left the voice. I said something's going on because it's a long one. And he goes, "Eric, I just want to say, I don't know if it was you. I clearly am not speaking to you. It's your voicemail. But if you glitter bombed that motherfucker's office, I owe you 50 years, motherfucker." And it was like the goofiest way. And he said, "I have never seen a reaction." So to this day, never got to see the reaction, but one of the greatest things I ever heard. And I'm sorry to have you. It just I had to share that. I guess now I feel better. It's off my chest, but it wasn't anything toxic or bad, but
Right.
it was just really fucking funny to me. And it's funny to me that it fucking delivers. Like there's so much.
It does.
Yeah.
Well, and you know that I gave the wrong reaction when I opened it because I thought it was hilarious.
You're
Like
looking for the
I got
male
on,
stripper. You're looking for
yes,
the stripper.
I'm like, oh my God, this is I'm like, oh my God, I have oh, someone loves me. They spent $20 on this glitter bomb just for me. You know what I mean? Like during when everything's supposed to be tight and saving money and blah blah blah. Because I just thought it was hilarious.
Well, you
So,
know what's also crazy? You can now shit on people. So here's what happens: you have
oh my God,
elephant,
don't
elephant,
watch. I'll get
gorilla,
that next.
rhinoceros shit. So what happens is there's different gallons, and what happens is you send a box, someone opens it up, and it's a whole fucking gallon package of rhinoceros shit, and there's like a card in there, and it's like you've been shitted on or you've been pooed on, and it's anonymous, and they literally
Oh
can't say because
my
when you purchase the food,
God.
it's from a contract. So what happens is this company, so there's actually a huge zoo poop business that people don't realize.
Oh my
I'm
God.
a big zoo person, of course, and
Oh my God.
big national zoos around in big cities, they will harvest all of their poop and actually have their keepers do that, and they'll bag it up and sell it, and the money will go back to food and exhibits and to benefit the
Okay.
zoo. So it's really smart. It's great for soil. It literally helps
Right.
a lot of places, and a lot of people will actually say, like, I'd rather use elephant shit than regular manure. So
Hmm.
some business thought, holy shit, I could get a deal. There's literally zoo animals and wild animals. I could literally, they poop
Wait,
every day. I could
one
do.
second. What does it look like when it comes? Because if my competitors hear this, I'm going to end up getting a bag of shit.
Oh
I need
God.
to know what it looks like before I open it, Eric.
It looks like
What does it
him.
look
No,
like?
I'm joking. I'm joking. No, I'm just joking. No, it looks like an elephant ate a gallon of hemp. No, it's like
Oh my
it's
God.
literally some
What
say
does it come? What does it come in? Like a
red reviews. I've
box?
heard that's in a. I heard it's like some is like it's sealed up. Some it's like I guess double box. I've heard some people say it is wet. Some people say it's like just big claws. Like I what I pictured, like just from the images I've seen, I just
Like, does it
pictured.
explode when you open it?
I don't know. That's what I haven't experienced it, but
Oh,
the thing
oh
that
my
I realized,
gosh.
the thing I thought about was that it, the way to describe it, just picture you buying a fucking carton of Breyer's ice cream and you
Oh,
pull the lid off and that flat top. It's like I
oh
wonder.
yeah.
That's how I picture it, and I'm thinking, think of someone who got that, didn't see the index card, and it's like, oh shit,
Oh my.
it's some fudge. It's like, I
Uh,
just don't
uh,
know.
uh.
I don't know. And people have told me, I brought it up to a couple of friends before in the past, and they were like, that's like as shitty as it gets. But you can do
Literally,
some crazy
literally.
things. There's actually a lady here in Louisville, and she, I guess money talks again.
Hmm.
This lady was a client of mine, and she would pay for advertising for at least 2 years before COVID hit. She was
Uh-huh.
making bank, and she was making enough money to do this job. And when you work at Leo, if anyone that's listening doesn't know Leo, I was there for 6 years. I was head of their
Hmm.
sales and shit with another lady, and did marketing, wrote for them. Like, but I've met every fucking character in the book at that job. When you do like 200 events, you're gonna meet every fucking weirdo. And
Hmm.
this this lady, I meet this lady, and I can't even remember her name. Very nice lady. She meets me in a coffee shop, and she's fucking dressed as Marilyn Monroe. And I said, "What the hell?" But she's like 60, and I'm like, hello." And she's like, welcome, Eric," and like singing to me, and I'm like, I did not smoke enough weed this morning, and I'm like, "Hello, how are you doing?" And I'm about to like sit down, and she's like, I can dress up like anything. I can do anything. I'll say anything. So this woman will literally like, you can pay her fucking $50, go dress up like a leprechaun, and she can show up to your competitor and be like, 502 hemp weed is better than me. Peter's weed is better than yours. Fuck off, and it's like walk off, and you're like, in
Oh
your head,
my.
you're like, that's the best $50 spent. And then she gets in her car, like smokes a cigarette, takes the leprechaun mask off, and is like, oh, there's $50. And I'm like, and I'm sitting there, and she's like, it's a passion of mine. And the thing about it that's crazy, a restaurant called me, and they were one of my clients, and it's just weird how shit all works out the way the galaxy works, the universe. And
Yeah.
they were like, we need an entertainer. We have a big guest. It was like River House or Levy or something. I
Yeah.
sent the fucking number to the it was like Buzz Advertising was like their middleman or whoever the middle person. So I sent it to them, I guess, to get to the restaurant. This woman's fucking singing at the goddamn restaurant Saturday night, like in a
That
costume.
is awesome.
And I'm thinking she's a fucking nut job, and the whole time she's out here entertaining this like 200 a plate restaurant. I'm like, and
Wow.
it gets wild. It literally does, just the way the world works. Sorry that one.
It
Yeah.
No, that's hilarious. I thought it was funny, but back to the social media stuff. I'm constantly breaking the community standards. Even though I see advertising for, there's a local company here that jumped on the bandwagon back in 19 when it passed, and I probably shouldn't say more than that. But anyway,
Well, let me ask you this to give me a clue. Are they the company that when not now, but for a few months here recently, when you're downtown Louisville, they have that major billboard? Do you know what I'm talking about? Am I or am I off?
I haven't seen a major
For 3
billboard.
months, for 3 months. I didn't know if
Huh.
you so for 3 months, but when you pass West St. Catherine, when you're going to St. Catherine, heading like you're heading to Indiana, and you can get off right there on Broadway, there literally was a green billboard, and it said Delta 8 is here, and I'll say it since I'm not in the business. It said
Yeah.
Dazed and Confused brand or something, or Dazed
and Confused.
Dazed something,
Okay.
Dazed or something, or Dazed
Is
8
that
or something, but it was literally a huge billboard, and they designed it all, and then they changed the color after the first month, and then they made it bigger print for like the last 3 months. And I was wondering, I was going to ask you that here in a minute. I didn't know if you knew about.
no? The company that I was just going to mention, they do not do the Delta 8 at all.
Mhm.
So, and they are strictly a website. So this company, I didn't even know about that billboard.
Yeah, it was.
That's kind of funny.
They literally had it for 3 months, and then they just lost it. And I was like, I saw it, and I was like, is this another national brand? And then the other brand I was going to just mention to you, just because we always share this with each other and just
Mm-hmm.
talk. A brand that I heard on the radio was a brand that said it was the first one that had came to the market or whatever, and
I've heard that.
yeah, and I've heard that, and I'm like, and they don't even really tell you anything. It's just like
No,
weird.
well, there's one that claims that they've been selling the products since the beginning, and I was like, no, you don't know when the beginning was,
Yeah,
because I've actually been doing it since 2014. So sit down.
you were doing it
So
in the
there, I mean,
garage at one time, weren't you? You're like,
yeah,
yeah,
2010s when we started, technically. Yeah, yeah. I mean, for reasons that nobody else has, for crying out loud. I
yeah,
mean,
saving
my husband
lives.
has seizures.
Yeah,
Yeah, my husband has seizures, so we had to do something. But yeah, I get that all the time. I'm the best. We're the best. We're better than you. We won
yeah.
this award. We won that award. Whatever. Most of that award shit is rigged. I've had people reach out to me on Instagram, and I'm talking about these past Leo awards. I've had people reach out to me on Instagram that say, I can guarantee you a win. I can put all the emails in there that need to be done. I can do all of that. I'm like, no, I don't want it.
Mhm.
If I don't win it just by regular normal voting, then I don't want it.
Yeah, you don't want
And
to earn
when
it the wrong way.
exactly, and then when you don't win and you see that no one has made not one post on social media, but all of a sudden they won, what does that tell you?
Now, let me tell you this. And I can give you a little inside scoop because I'm glad you brought that up, because people do need to realize that there is people in this country and just in the world in general, but I'll say this country for this one, do not realize, because we're talking about industry most of this podcast,
Mm-hmm.
do not realize how many secret hidden industries there are out there that are making millions. One of
Oh
them
yeah.
is the award business. So
Mm-hmm.
every time a publication, a media outlet, or anything, local, national, whatever, when they put out awards, there is people that are running little independent companies, and they might not have their name. They might
Yep.
say they're fucking landscapers, but what they're doing is they're making ads. So they got a company they're working with, and they can make plaques, and they're seeing what the companies are giving out, and they're paying and making bigger plaques, and and bigger things and trying to sell it for more money. And people don't know because they're thinking, I won, I'm getting this from a representative. And then the other
Yep.
thing that's crazy about it is they have these networks now where they can pay for 100,000 votes and all this stuff. And
Yep.
when I was counting the votes for Leo, I will say, as when Eric Clark was a Leo employee, I hand counted them for 5 years in a row. It takes fucking 2 days. And I was very passionate about it. And I did not fuck around because I'm like, this is my advertising, this is my money. And at the end of the day, it was very valid. But you would see how the more years it happened, the more these businesses came aligned. That one company had 50,000 votes, and then the second place person is 131. I'm sorry, we were killing it at Leo when I was there, but we don't have 50,000 people voting for one category. So
I know, right?
that's where it's
Right?
see. And then the
Yep.
other thing that's more fucked up, and this is where you and I could kind of see. I'm not talking about like the Pardon My Takes or My Favorite Murder or Joe Rogan, like these podcasts that are just national brands and they're getting paid billions to podcast. But like people like me and you who just want a podcast to promote our brand or like even do it for fucking fun, but we want to maybe make some money off it one day or maybe do well with it. It's like these other motherfuckers like are getting stream like can pay companies to give them more downloads and streams. Like the rapper G-Eazy, he's got a lot of pop songs the past few years. He just got exposed. Like he's done well, he's talented, he's platinum, but most of his songs, the reason they got to that peak or they're leading Spotify or Apple at that time for that week or month, it's because there's a company that has funneled $1 million in to pump in 500,000 streams into that guy's music. So when you're listening
Wow.
to it, you can't. So all these fucking playlists that are like big, like in the rap game, like there's like
Wow.
5 big ones, Rap Caviar, like Chill Mode, all these different things. The whole reason you're seeing the same artist because not saying they didn't deserve an honor, they're killing it, they're doing better than me. But at the end of the day, a lot of them, the extra
They
streams is
pay for
like
it.
it's been paid for, and there's a
Yep.
it's the company doing it. It's been exposed, and it's so. But here's the thing: not everyone has that backer, so that's why
Right.
you can't take the credit from these people because there is some artists that are even that big that have gained every fucking thing on their own, but
Right.
you don't know what label, you don't know what manager was like, and also too, I have never talked to Jeezy or let him come back to me, just using him as an example. But if I ever sat down with him one on one, he could say to me, I didn't know my manager paid for that. That's probably true. But it's just crazy to me that anyone. I would love for this podcast to be number one podcast in the world. I know it won't happen,
Right.
but I also don't have. I also, though, at the end of the day, if someone gave me $1 billion and was like, hey, do what you want with it, yeah, I'd build this podcast up. I might buy a studio. I might maybe like market it more, but I'm not going to pay for it to be the spotlight or, hey,
That's how I
fifty
feel.
thousand. Let me give you
Yep.
$50,000, and you go and see. What I loved was what me and you really talked about when I first built the relationship with you. Your big thing was you did not you, and I'll say this for everybody listening. You're big on pay not play. You were everywhere, and you remember how talking about jealous and beat people would be like, "Oh, she's paying to be in that or paying." No, you literally built your way up, and then you and I realized after year 1 to year 2 we were thinking, okay, we're worried about you because we didn't even know how you were going to place in the Reader's Choice. We're worried about you competing with 14 other CBD brands. And we both were like, we just hope you place because at that time, you and I didn't know you literally are like number one in all of them. And then you come back year 2, it's you versus 4 people.
Yep.
Year 3, it's you versus 1 person. And then fucking Circle K or something. I don't know who's been added on
It
that.
was weird.
But
Yep.
it's so
This
weird.
this year was really weird. I was like, okay, okay. I mean, so be it. You know what I mean? It's not, and to me, winning that award, don't get me wrong, it's an honor. I'm humbled because I know my people voted for me.
Yeah.
Even if we came in second place, I know they were legitimate votes. I certainly, and no one that I know bought our votes,
Yeah.
and that makes me happy. So even though I didn't win ones that I had won before,
Yeah.
I was like, I just definitely think there's probably something going on there because I was just like, how
Mhm.
do you do that?
And you got to
You
think
know?
about all the people in these businesses. You at the end of the day, you really don't know who is legit and who's not, or who's doing it the way that we did it. And
Yeah.
I will speak on behalf of Leo. Like I said, if it's the same, if it's the same voting process that they did, and I like I said, it was always legit when I was there. But there is places that it definitely gets off. And then, the one thing that I always found that was interesting, it's like it's different. Like the reason it's different when you're starting a business or brand. Like it's cool to
Mhm.
be in these things and to pay for this marketing, this promotion, because that's important and that really does
Oh
stand
yeah.
out from the others. And I think that, and that's where I compliment you all the time. You killed that.
Mhm.
And I think what some people don't realize is like you nailed it. If you've been trying to ride someone's coattails, like these small companies that may be trying to ride 502's coattails, or
Mhm.
I just want a place, and then you see them out of nowhere win an award or something, or even like best new something or best new product,
Mhm.
you kind of laugh because you're like, is that you wanted to do you realize like you have never been to the top, so you're like, I gotta get deeper in my pockets to win? Like I just don't see how it's almost like a goddamn participation trophy at the YMCA. I mean, I understand when the kids are fucking 1 through 7. I'm sorry, you gotta still be a
Mhm.
kid and give that 7-year-old kid that kicks the ball the wrong way a fucking trophy. But when it comes to
Right.
13 years old and the kid didn't make the team and he goes to every game, I'm sorry, he don't get a trophy. He's not on the team.
Right.
So that's where you kind of got to rip that band-aid, and it sucks. But at the end of the day, it's like as adults, you got to realize there's a like, and that's where and that's where it shows already how much of a businesswoman you are, that marketing and paying for an award is a whole different ballgame.
It is. And that's the funny thing. Another thing that cracks me up, like you'll see big websites, big companies, and they're like, as seen on Forbes or as seen on USA Today. Those are paid advertisement. And it cracks me up because I'm like, okay, should I put all mine in there as seen on WDRB, as seen on WHAS? I don't see the point of that. I would rather have my customers' reviews and how they feel about our products first and foremost before anything like that. But not winning an award and is that the end of the world? My God, no. I mean, I'm still grateful that we placed. I'm still grateful that I have a company. I'm still grateful to be in business after COVID and everything that
But
happened
they're
with
not gonna
that. And then
bullshit you, and that's what
no.
that's where at the end of the day, that's where you're smarter than the other competition. Because at the end of the day, and that ain't like I said, we're not even doing business together anymore. All these
Mhm.
compliments is genuine
Yeah.
from me. So this isn't. I'm not getting anything
Yep.
out of this, but I'm just telling you, you you don't get bullshitted. So when someone comes to you, it's gonna be pretty hard to be like bamboozled or swept on that. But it's
Mhm.
sad to kind of go back to that scammer thing about, Louisville is such an independent or internet, excuse me, not independent, international city with like
Mhm.
businesses. And
Mhm.
that's not only are they targeting new businesses like we discussed, where they like, we're coming to you like buy a plaque or we can buy a
Yeah.
boat, whatever. Think about how many foreign businesses have been bamboozled. Like
Oh my God, right?
Vietnam Kitchen, for example. They win best, and I think they're shut down now after COVID and stuff, but they were the best Vietnam restaurant like 30 years in Louisville. It was a family
Right.
owned, very passionate. He's won every award, and they fucking generally won it. They always blew out
Mhm.
competition, and it was best Vietnamese in the city. And like I said, I haven't been out that way in a while. Hopefully, they're still open. If not, I knew they were planning on shutting down. But you go in their place, and there was a few awards you'd see matching the same year, but you could tell they got bamboozled. They spent extra money on a fake award, and then they got the matching award over here. And it's not that they're dumb. It's not that they're uneducated. It's just it the language barrier, and then you're like trying to convince someone to not only buy an award, and then you take their money. And the
Right.
funniest thing about it, that fucking guy or girl that got sent from Joe Blow's award company, you will never see him again. He FedEx
They don't care.
that box. So when you gave him $150, it costs about $15 to make the plaque he just made, and then he just shipped it to you for $10. He got $120. He probably gave 40 to the company, keeps 8, whatever. It's like, what the fuck? And it's sad. And you know, I just can't. I think about all the business I've dealt with, and it's like,
I
how
know,
many
I hate it for the competitors, and even just not even just in my industry, but for people that get taken advantage of like that. Because if you're spending money to win an award, I mean, don't waste your money. Put that money towards educating your staff or taking them out to dinner or something different. Don't waste your money doing that shit, because I guarantee you nobody's going to remember.
Mm-mm.
I, I mean, you have that talk, the talking point for the year, but no one really truly gives a shit.
Yeah.
They don't like you because you won an award. They come to you and they buy your product and they use your product because of the quality.
Mm-hmm.
So no one comes to me because we're winners of either the Leo or even the Courier Journal or even the Prospect Chamber or any of that stuff. They don't come to me because of that.
Yeah.
Those to me are just added bonuses, right? I mean, I've been nominated
Just
for a
added
shit
marketing.
ton.
It's just added
Yeah, it's
marketing.
added. It is. It's marketing. So I've been nominated for a shit ton of awards this year, and I didn't win. We didn't win all of them, but
Mm-hmm.
I had great competitors
Yeah.
too. So I think that competition keeps you healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Think it keeps you growing. I just don't agree with people that buy their way into that or buy the award. I think it's sad.
Yeah.
And like I said, karma. I just truly believe in karma. Now, am I saying that? And please let me reiterate this, because I'm not saying that the ones that I lost to, I'm not saying that they cheated,
Mm-hmm.
and they could have very easily
Oh yeah, yeah.
won.
No, I didn't think that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just do. I always question things,
Yeah.
because after for so long, you're like, how'd that happen? You know what I mean? But and and kudos to the ones that did win, that didn't. You know what I mean? That did it legitimately, follow the rules.
And for the
You
listeners,
know?
know you've won a lot, and you've won a lot
Yeah.
of well-deserved awards. And like I
Oh
said,
gosh, yeah.
that's why I hyped you up in the beginning, because the awards you have won, I know how much you appreciate those, and like you already stated.
Heck
But it's just
yeah.
like the end of the day, it's just been added bonus. But you have won genuinely, and you haven't just won
Mhm.
from one thing. So you you
Exactly.
you winning is normal. I mean, it really is, and there's a
Mhm.
lot of businesses in different industries in the city I could name off the top of my head that them
Mhm.
winning awards is normal and well deserved and deserved. You're one of them, but there's some that when you do see them place, it throws you off. I but I do the one thing I do love about awards, I love what it does for new business stuff, because it really
Mhm.
does hype up that new biz and gets it out
Well,
there. And
it does, but what was weird last year was that this one company who I had never even heard of, they won one of the awards, and I was like, where the hell did they come from? You know what I mean? I was just like, what? Who is
yeah,
this? And they weren't even local. They were from, I think, Lexington area. So I was like, how in the hell did that happen? You know
yeah.
what I mean? So it's that kind of stuff where you're just like, okay, okay,
That's where you
whatever.
wonder. That's where you wonder, and you put two and two together. It's like they might not have even known any other ones, or they had gotten some kind of contact from that one, and it was like,
Right.
Swindle in here the third or so.
Yeah.
Honorable
Yeah.
mention. But the other thing too that's interesting with those two, it's like when you go out to one of these places that maybe has an award, not just even a store, but like a restaurant and stuff.
Hmm.
It's like you look at those awards and you see it and it's like it's cool and stuff and you see all those things, but it's almost like I I I want to taste the food. Like
Right.
I mean I
Right.
see
That's my
the
point.
award, but I want to taste the
Yeah.
food, and then I
Yeah.
know I
Service.
yeah, like Leo restaurants, when all these restaurants, like when I started working at Leo, like I said, I was very experienced and knew the city, but I still hadn't ate all these places. And like I'm very thankful for Leo, just opened me up to a whole new world, and I got to experience this city like no other. But I didn't realize how many restaurants there were and all this shit. but it's like I'm reading the food reviewer we had, and I don't know if he still does not Robin Gar's a reviewer in
I don't
Louisville.
remember.
He's very anonymous. He hides his face like in his pictures. So like, but I mean, he's savage. He's shut down sushi restaurants. He's shut down like he'll be like, this tastes like shit. Like, and at the end of the day, I like that. I want someone unfiltered. It's like Bourdain style. But the thing about it is, I'm reading his reviews, and there was a few places that he had reviewed, and I'm like, I fucking love that place. So I'm like, this guy in
It's
the
one
beginning,
opinion.
it's opinion, yep. And I'm like, this guy is way off for me. And then I'm seeing all these food spotlights and promoting, and I'm thinking to myself, like, yeah, it's cool to see like my paper promoting this place, but I don't even. In my opinion, it could be the worst fucking chicken I've ever had. I mean, there's three places in the top of my head I can name you right now that are so hyped, and I won't say this because I don't want
Yeah.
to ever go after a restaurant. I think
Right.
that's just about as low as you can go. But I will say, there's three places I can name that get so much hype. I mean, they don't even fucking hit the thermostat for me. I mean, it's freezing, and I'm like, where's the hype? You know, and then too, it's like
They
you
paid for that hype.
pay for that hype, and then
Paid
you
for
talk
it.
to how many people you talk to outside of Louisville that will tell you that will be like, hey, I'm coming to Louisville, or like, hey, they'll ask for like recommendations or something, and then you're about to start, and then they might be like, well, so and so tell me about these four places, and here's the deal. They probably didn't even talk to a fucking so and so. There's probably no so and so. They probably just saw on like Travel Advisor when the first thing
Yep.
they Googled, and it's like, okay, go to Jack Fry's and Doc Crow's, and it's like,
Yep.
all right, the same bullshit. Rich who, like you said, paid. It's like I want to see Big Al's Beer Reedville, WW fucking Cousins. Like, I want to see all that shit because, like, people don't know. I love WW Cousins. All my friends give me shit. They're like, you're going to turn into a burger. I just love the place, but it's employee owned. The goddamn janitor's got a fucking cut.
Oh, that's
Everybody
awesome.
gets a little fucking cut. So it's like, that's dope. And so I'd rather somebody from outside the city, you're not only like all those places I've named, they're gonna get something novelty or like something out of it. Like I love a brand that I love that's blown up. I don't know if you Jeff's Donuts. Have you seen?
No,
So
I
Jeff's
haven't.
Donut. Oh, you have to. Okay, I know
Okay.
it's gonna
Oh,
blow your mind.
I love me some donuts.
All right, so here's the deal. I won't. I don't think they're the best donuts in town. I'm still a sugar and spice guy, but for the convenience factor, it's 24/7, 365 donuts. They have over 25 you can choose from. They have even like cinnamon rolls and like long croissants, Johns. They got icing,
Yum.
everything. It's a lot of dough and glaze and a lot of, so like in my opinion, one can fill you the fuck up. But you got chocolate milk, drinks, everything, but everything's $2. So like the milk's $2, the donuts $2. You
Yep.
get 10 donuts, $20. It's like you get $2. So you can literally be wasted at 3 in the morning. You Uber, I need to stop at Jeff's. Let me get 2 donuts, $4. It's ready. And so there's always someone cooking them. So they're at, where Bed Bath and Beyond is in St. Matthews,
Yep.
Breckenridge. The side of Bed Bath and Beyond, that little side that faces the road that goes to Cannons Lane to the Jewish.
Okay.
It's right there. Well, now right here by Pier 19, the seafood restaurant here on Hurstbourne.
Yeah. Yep.
It's now opened up right next to Jersey Mike's. They're gonna put a second one. So now that's fucked up because now I live 2 minutes from this 24/7 and I mean I'm young right now, but I'm gonna tell you what, I gotta be careful because I do not want to start, because I'm telling you what, it's like with my recreational habits and that donut being so close, it's gonna be very tempting.
Let me tell you something about donuts, mister. So that was my very first job. I was 13. I worked on the weekends at a bakery making donuts, and we were pretty fucking poor. I mean, we really were. So obviously I had to work to pay for my toiletries, clothes, all that stuff. So I supported myself from a very young age.
Yeah.
And I swear that no child that is hormonal teenager that should be put in a sweet factory like that. That's when I got so fat. I got so damn fat because I would eat. That was my breakfast, lunch, and dinner on the
Yeah.
weekends was donuts because we didn't have a lot of food, or so that I would take home the day old donuts. But oh my God, yeah, I did that from 13 to 18. I worked at a bakery
And see,
every
people don't believe in
fucking
habits.
weekend.
They don't believe in habits. People are always like, "Oh, you can break a habit." But if you get in the habit of like, if
Yep.
you pass somewhere and it's like get it done, I'm not gonna lie. I find I am very thankful I'm not an addicted person. Like I don't have an
Mm,
alcohol addiction. I don't have a cigarette addiction. I could maybe drink 10 beers and smoke a cig, or
mhm.
I might, with my girlfriend one night have 4 beers or something. But I just don't get tempted to do it. Now I do love my weed, of course, but
Mhm.
there's no addiction in that. But at the end of the day, there's weird addictions I get, like side stuff. Like I remember in high school, like when I was
Mhm.
18, got addicted for 2 months to scratch off. So I'm like, I gotta get a scratch off. It's legal now.
Because you're gonna win. You're gonna win, right?
Yeah. Then 21, it's like the addiction of
Dopamine. It's
buying
the
alcohol.
pleasure,
Yeah, the pleasure. And then it's like,
pleasure
then
center.
I'm 23, 24. It's like, oh, me and my buddies, we all gotta go to the strip club. It's just all these different things. Like, let's do this
Mhm.
weekend. But then it's like, sweets. I've got addicted to sweets, these things. But the thing that's crazy to me is just like I'm just addicted to McDonald's McFrappes right now. The caramel McFrappe, not mocha, the a large caramel frappe. Like
That
no
was
words,
hilarious.
and it just starts me up and it gets me fucking going. I could run through a fucking wall as soon as it hits my mouth. It's fucking good. And I've even realized I'm like, it's actually the caramel McFrappe has saved me from eating sweets or even eating donuts. I could actually drink a McFrappe and be my meal. I know it's not the healthiest, but it's like it could be my drink. I don't even have to maybe throw down a bunch of biscuits and bread or donuts, and I can
Yeah.
literally wait till lunch, have my energy transition off it, and then it for 35 cents, they'll fucking do it at McDonald's. Like they might bitch when they did it. They might have even, said throw the caramel thing on the floor, but they will give you that extra drizzle for like 33 cents or something. Hey, can I get some extra caramel drizzle? And your McFrappe will pop up on the screen and be like, large frappe, extra drizzle. And you're like, oh, I'm gonna charge 30 cents for that squirt. I'm like thinking to myself, that little McDonald's guy, as soon as he squirts that fucking bottle, he's just making money. Like not money for himself, but this is a 30-cent squirt. Like it's just like
Oh,
it's worth
that's
it. That squirt's
hilarious.
worth it.
I,
That's worth it.
you know what though? For we should talk to the donut people. I know one of the owners with High Five Donuts, and they're getting ready to open they're moving their location to the Highlands, which will be cool. That'll be a lot easier for me to get to too. But they make some killer donuts. When I first opened my store, they made donuts for me green, and then they had the little hemp leaves on them. So
Awesome.
I will. Oh, yeah, that was super cool. So yeah,
That
I
is
feel you
so
on that
cool.
one, man.
You should do something with donuts. Are we
Yep, I
thinking?
will again.
Are we coming up with more
That
ideas while we're together?
I love
Oh,
me some
yeah.
edibles.
I,
Edibles are great. And Eric, I don't know if we talked about this, but I'm getting ready to open up 812 Hemp over in Clarksville, Indiana.
congrats.
And yes, I love it. The space is huge. You will have to come check it out. But I'm hoping that I can get I want to be able to make my edibles there. I got a full kitchen, a full freaking kitchen.
Ooh.
So I just got to need to pass the health inspection, all that kind of stuff. All those requirements. But
Maybe Eric can
I'm
drop off
excited.
a little like Christmas wish
Oh,
list.
dude,
Yeah.
right? Oh, but I got to be on the up and up over in Indiana for sure. Not that I'm not here, but you know what I mean. Their
So,
their their
let me
rules are
ask you
really
that:
weird in
how,
Indiana.
like, how? That's a great thing to bring up. I'm
Hmm.
so glad you brought that up because this was on my mind. I knew you did business practices in Indiana.
Yep.
How, just for the listeners, people that don't know Louisville and Indiana, it will blow your fucking mind that a bridge changes so much.
Yes, it
Laws,
really does.
everything.
Yep. Well, and because two of those bridges, they freaking charge you tolls. So people don't want to pay tolls, right? But yeah, we are literally off 65. We're right off Lewis and Clark Parkway. Wait, yeah, Lewis and Clark Parkway by the Kroger. So really great location.
That's
There
a
was a Porter
hopping
Paints.
area. Fuck, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yep, yep. There was a Porter Paints that was there. love our landlord built this whole beautiful space out for us. Like I cannot wait to get in there and get going on this. But yeah, I of course 502 is my brand, right? But we couldn't open 502 in Indiana. Who would come to it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They support Indiana people. They don't support Louisville people. That's just not all. Some, not all. So I'm like, okay, well, I
812
guess
Hemp.
812
502's
Hemp it
cousin.
is.
502's cousin.
Exactly. Sister, cousin, brother, whatever. But we're rebranding. I have a new label out. It's called Maria Extracts.
Ooh.
Me for you, and we've rebranded that, so all of our CBD products will be under that new label, just so we can sell in both places.
Wow.
Because I can't sell 502 hemp CBD oil at 812 hemp,
You are
right? And we
so
didn't want to have
smart with this shit.
812 hemp. I
Holy
know, right?
shit. This
I
is
know.
crazy.
So, but we've been working on. Honest to God, when that raid happened, we had looked into opening up a store in Indiana, and we had two leases, and both of them fell through. We had signed the lease, and then the lease orders pulled out. So we have literally been shopping and just regrouping and like, where are we going to have this at? Because I won't just set up a shop anywhere. I mean, there's got to be it matters where you put your store. It
100%.
matters. It
100%.
matters. Real estate matters. And there was a few places that we were like, well, we could probably make this work, but nothing like that I was ever in love with.
Mhm.
And certainly not as far as like the leasing agent goes. But our landlord now, I'm like, you are the best ever. Like, I'm so surprised. He sunk a shit ton of money into this place for us. We didn't have to spend any money on it. Where the place I'm at now, I did. Oldham County, I did. So this was like coming. Now, granted, my rent's a little higher, but in the end, I think it's probably going to be worth
Yeah,
it. I believe. So I'm super excited. When that gets open, I'll let you know for sure, and you'll have to come over and see it,
for
because I
sure.
I plan on. I can't wait to make some of my own stuff.
Yeah, I'll bring one of my
So.
buddies from New Albany over there too. Like,
Mhm.
let him check it out because he's over that side. And I rarely go to Indiana when I try not to. It's not that I don't have like beef in him. It's just I just go to Indianapolis, and I'm just not. I just
Mhm.
don't go over that much. But when I do, it's mainly the New Albany area. But yeah, that area is really hopping. And
Mhm.
something I was going to ask you, just out of curiosity, just since you are on Moser, and that's where
Mhm.
you've really built the big store of the 502 brand. That Royals business was there over there, and it's shut down. That
I know it did shut down.
what do you, the more you think about that, I've been doing some thinking about that. If you look at that whole area and you think about it, every business from Little Caesars to you has never changed, and that's no joke.
Mhm.
The strip center, even the
Yep.
only thing the strip center has changed has gone from a Halloween store to a gym. All those
Yep.
little side businesses that even go around behind the shopping center, everything in it. I'm blown away because that Royals location had great parking, great area.
Yep.
It had a parking Roosters parking lot. Fuck, it's a 30-second walk. And the store was pretty big, and it was like, and you're right in Middletown. Like, you're not even in the it's not. I'm not, and again, I'm not going to Royals. Like I said, I hate it for them. I know they're still downtown, but it's just like
Yep.
what business do you think should go there?
I don't
They do.
know, because before it was a really good like vegan vegetarian type place, and I love that. It was really actually good food,
Yeah,
but I think there was some issues with just what I'm not going to talk about it, but there was definitely something going on there. And then before that it was like a florist, right?
yeah, it was a
I
florist for
think.
quite a while.
Yeah. So, and then when Royals came, I was like, hell yeah. Like, I love Royals. I loved going downtown to get Royals. That was one of my favorites. And then when they set up, I was like, oh, this is great. This is the perfect place for it.
Yeah,
And my husband and I have talked about that too. And he's like, I think it's the location. It's like the in and out. He said, I think can be difficult there on Shelbyville Road, which it is kind of a bitch. Thank
yeah.
God I'm at a light. If there wasn't a light there, I would not have put my store there.
Oh yeah,
Having that light there is huge. I mean, there's still accidents all the time. I mean, hell, my husband wrecked our car literally right in front of my store, crossing there was 2 lanes, even though there's not 2 lanes there on Mosier. A car came up and clipped him. Oh yeah, totally totaled our damn car. He was literally delivering product to me, and I'm like, you gotta fucking be kidding me. Happy
Yeah.
birthday to me. So I don't know what should be in there. I mean, it is a nice building.
It's very
It
nice
is
building.
clean. It does have parking. Um,
But it's like,
I
does
don't
that area
know.
need more food? But then it's like, but then you look around and it's like, well, now everybody can live off roosters and Little Caesars and Jersey
Right.
Mike's. But then you can drive down. I don't know. I mean, the only thing that makes me afraid of like that, that's just such good real estate. I know it is, like you said, the driving
Hmm.
out, but it's just good real estate for the area. It's just such a good area. And then you
Hmm.
see, I don't know. It just makes me wonder. I just saw it the other day, and I'm like, I just hope it doesn't sit.
I
I hope it's used right.
Well, and I think that if they opened their back lot and had a throwaway where people can get up into the little the
Travis,
third right there. Yeah, and that way they could get the light if they really needed
fuck
to.
yeah, yeah.
I think that would be easier. I think
Oh
that'd
yeah.
be a better selling point too. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm
Because
kind of bummed. I hope they have
you ever
something.
think about that? I mean, I know you use a business or think about stuff, but I'm so weird, and I don't know. I don't know if I just get bored in my head, but I just could be driving, and I just think about the most random stuff. And like my girlfriend lives in Odom County. You mentioned Odom County, and I went out to Double Dragon on the Kroger in
Mhm.
Lagrange. She was out there with her dogs, and so I was like, I'll bring Chinese out to your house. So I swung in Double Dragon to pick it up. Well, I'm driving the fucking shopping center 3 times. I can't find it. It's like tucked in the corner.
And of
The
course,
back
yep.
is facing some. You walk in, it's the most beautiful Chinese restaurant I've ever seen. It's all remodeled.
Yep.
The guy's on top of it. He gets a call. He's like, he don't even write shit down. And I'm like, this is like the best Double Dragon ever. But who
Mhm.
fucking knows this is here?
Those there.
And it's like,
Yep.
as a business owner, it's like there's why pick that spot? Like even if you can make it work, he's clearly doing well, and clearly Double Dragon's a big brand. But it's
Yeah.
like there's another brand back there. I'm making it up. This is completely made up, but it could be like it says something about like a printing company, like a printer company.
Mhm.
It's like who the fuck knows you're back here? The
Yep.
guy gets Chinese food on Wednesdays.
Right.
It just I don't know.
It's all about location matters when it comes to any type of business you have. Location matters. And
Yeah.
sometimes you have to pay more for that location. Like I when I was looking for spots, I knew I wanted to be closer to home. I didn't want a big commute. And I had driven by because it used to be Rapid Ink refill place. I'd always seen it from Shelbyville Road. I always looked that way. And I never knew it then, but maybe I did. I knew I was going to have a store there. You know what I mean? Like there was always something about that place for as long as I can remember. And when I opened Oldham County, I thought, because I was right there in LaGrange, literally right across from Cracker Barrel. And I thought, oh my God, everybody knows where Cracker Barrel is.
Yeah.
Everybody
Okay.
knows, right? That is one of the places in LaGrange. I, it sucked. We would only have like 2 people a day, sometimes none. It was not a good location. And I was right next to a dry cleaner, the only dry cleaner in freaking LaGrange. And I'm telling you, it is just weird. But the crazy thing is everybody's like, well, I already would go to your Louisville store. I mean, I'm glad you opened this one. It's closer to home, but I already shop at your Louisville store. So that's why when we were looking, I was like, I want to go outside of the state because I don't get that many Indiana customers. I have some, but
Mhm.
not that many because of that, you don't want to cross the
Mhm.
bridge. You don't pay for that.
Yeah.
So when we were looking, I'm like, I think we need to go to Indiana. For one, Kentucky was being stupid with all their rules and regulations and the lawsuit. And I thought, shit, we're gonna have to close the store. I mean, so many things could have happened, could have totally went different. Um, but we had been looking for over a year, and finally, when we found it, it's taken a good, I think, what 6 months now just to get it to where we can get moved in.
Yeah.
So and it wasn't a fast decision. It wasn't a decision that we did quickly. Like we have been working on this forever. And I know some people think that, we're just following the crowd because there's other companies that have moved over there. And I'm like, no, we actually been working on it, but
Yeah.
believe what you want. You know what I mean?
Hey
But
everybody,
it's
I've heard about this plan a couple of years of like wanting to branch out of the place. So I heard about the
I,
A12 idea quite a while ago.
yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I want to have one in every damn area code eventually. So goals, right? Hashtag goals.
You know what would be
Mm.
really dope is I mean, again, I'm thinking way down the line, but you know, you ever think about how many fucking businesses are in ballparks and stadiums that like not just food and drink, not just food and beer
Yep.
and coke. I'm
Hmm.
talking merchandise. I'm talking
Merchandise.
all kinds of stuff. Do you see that where you could potentially go to like a Eagles game and you're getting CBD or you're getting hemp?
Maybe. Charlotte's Web, they got the big nod from the MLB to
That's the
promote.
sports
And
radio. That's the sports radio at Charlotte's
yes,
Web.
yep,
Okay.
Charlotte's Web. So they had to pay a fuck ton of money, like $30 million to get that. I'm not that big. I
No
don't have
wonder
see
they're
me.
so big on sports radio. Okay.
That's why. Yeah, they got the MLB bid on that. And now there's other smaller brands that back a certain team or whatever, but they got the big full Monty, right? Now they've been doing this. They were one of the first that started with CBD, and it was the Morgan and Stanley brothers. So money was already there. They already had it. Um, and it was based on Charlotte, who's a little girl who has seizures, right? And they finally convinced Dr. Gupta, kind of to change his mind and to start doing the research on how this was helping and how it's helping Charlotte. It gave that little girl more life. She did end up passing away. She ended up getting COVID, and I think that between the seizures and COVID, she passed away from that back in
God
2020,
damn.
maybe 21. But
That up to GUPTA.
yeah,
Yep, I've
GUPTA,
seen
Dr.
them before.
Gupta.
Yeah. Mhm.
He's done some movies. Weed one two. There's like a 3-part series that he's done about weed and marijuana.
That might be
So
where I've seen him from, or he might
yeah.
even been on something that that Charlotte's Web is so promoted on sports radio. I always was
Hmm.
wondering why a sports radio network finally was. So that kind of all makes sense and involved.
Hmm.
So yeah, you're right. I think it's just something we just have to see down the road because
There,
I never thought I'd see streaming NFL games. Like Thursday night,
right.
Prime paid $100 billion, or Amazon paid like $100 billion to NFL, and you can with the streaming of those games, it's like that's so innovative, and then it makes you think
Hmm.
like, am I gonna have to pay for an NFL streaming service to watch the games on Sunday?
Right.
And I'm like,
You never know.
you never
That's
know.
what I mean. That's
It's the
and that's
money.
why you go to places like BW3s and watch it there. you
Yeah,
know Save yourself some money. You
yeah,
watch the game you want to watch and go home.
yeah.
But
And
yeah, I know.
if you want to not wear pants, just talk to Buffalo Wild Wings, see if they're cool with it. So, uh,
Exactly.
but Dee Dee, I want to thank you again for being on here. This has been
Thank
an
you.
amazing two-parter. We've talked everything cannabis, CBD, your brand, and
It's been fun.
again, this is part two. If you haven't listened to part one, rewind, go back a few days. It is up on all platforms, and then if you want to dig back in the archives, go to season two and listen to us as well.
Yep.
Dee Dee, if you want to give them how to connect with you.
Absolutely. So it's 502hemp.com. You can find us on all the social medias. Instagram, TikTok, I am there is 502hemp. Facebook is idiots, shut me down. That's 502 Wellness Center there. So you can find us there on that. Emails info at 502hemp.com. We have the storefront there on Mosier. Should be having, I'd say in about 3 weeks, we'll have 812 Hemp opened up for all your Indiana listeners so they can
Ooh,
come over there and check us out. But
hell yeah.
yeah, message, you got questions, we're always here to help answer any questions you have, definitely. And just like Vibing with Sleazy, we do have a podcast as well, Hemp and Happiness. We totally get into more of the nitty gritty of the whole hemp industry and what's going on both federally and statewide. So check us out too. It's been a lot of fun. Matt and I cuss, we make jokes. We had an episode we talked about ED and CBD because companies try to literally screw people, and convince people that they can cure their ED with a freaking CBD gummy, and it's not true. People, stop wasting your money. It's not true.
There's some guy in this random town. He's like snorting gummies. He's like, God damn it, this is work. Like, fuck, why is it not working? But the thing I will say this to kind of to end on a higher note before I give my little sign off is that the thing is you brought up Facebook. I know they're giving you some trouble. I don't know if you heard the news today. Meta
I laid off 11,000 people.
So you're growing and you're opening up an Indiana store and Zuckerberg's letting off 11,000 people. So somebody's fucking up, and it sounds like it's
amen, brother. Amen.
So let's end it on that. But everybody, Vibing with Sleazy, gmail.com, Vibing with Sleazy, the podcast, Facebook, Instagram. Thank you for listening, downloading, supporting. Again, tune into part 1. This is part 2. There'll be a few more episodes to end up season 3, and then I'll be taking my break till the spring. But I want to thank everybody for listening and downloading. And again, thank you, Dee Dee, and we are out. Peace.
Thank you. Bye-bye.